Hey guys, how's it going? Kiriam Sparta here. Sorry for the long delay, but life. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I'm doing a different kind of video today. I'm actually going to do a movie review. Because, well, I'll get into it. But long story short, I decided to check out the Maniac remake. And for those of you who don't know, or I'm not sure if I've shared before, but Maniac from the 1980s with Joe Spinell. That's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, I got the 2-disc Blu-ray special edition, whatever. I think it's 2 discs. I can't remember. It was a special edition. I'm like, done. But yeah, the movie's really, really, really good. You know, is it a horror? Well, it is a horror movie and a thriller, but it's mainly a character study, I'd say. You know, with a lot of horror, a lot of thriller elements, but regardless, awesome movie. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And yeah, if you get the chance to, you should check out the Cinema Snob's review of Maniac. Quite hilarious, because I'm not sure if you might know, but Maniac is one of two movies that Gene Siskel, the great critic, walked out of. So, you know, it's got that little bit of reputation for it. Anyway, regardless. So, of course, being one of my favorite horror movies of all time, hearing that they were going to do a remake, I was, you know, quite rightly pissed off. I mean, horror movie remakes in general, they're never really done that well. Say for, you know, I liked Dawn of the Dead. The Nightmare on Elm Street one was okay. It was alright. And then, oh, there's probably another one I'm thinking of, but it's just not there at the moment. But for now, I'm going to say, you know, most of the time, horror movie remake, awful. Not good. Don't see it. That whole thing. So, of course, I was pretty pissed off. Then I decided, or I was doing some research on it, and found out Elijah Wood was going to be in the main character, Frank. And that actually kind of piqued my interest. I like Elijah Wood. He's really good. You know, I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, but I do like the fact that he didn't really want to be, you know, he didn't really want to be stuck with that character. He went around, he's tried a lot of different things. I mean, you know, Kevin, Sin City. If you haven't checked out Wilfred, that TV show on, I think it's on FX, really good as well. That's another good one, different. And seeing some Wilfred, it almost kind of got him ready for this role, I'd say, because it's very, anyway. So, long story short, Maniac remake, amazing. I was blown away by how much I liked this movie. It was so good. It's dark. It's beautiful. It's violent as hell, and really good effects too. Like super good. A lot. There's a bit of CGI, but mainly practical effects, and they look awesome. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is so good. Anyway, so I guess just kind of a quick synopsis. The movie is basically about a young, disturbed man, Frank, and he's got a lot of mommy issues. His mom was, you know, I'm not going to get too into it here. I'll do spoilers later, but basically, plot is Frank's crazy. He kills people, mainly women, scalps them, and staples their scalps to mannequins in his store, because they actually changed that. In the original, he was just a crazy guy who just had the mannequins. I think he was a landlord. But in this one, he actually does run they had a family mannequin store, so he kind of does restorations and stuff like that. So he's kind of got an affinity for mannequins. So, very lonely guy. He's doing that basically just to kind of, you know, have someone to talk to, like a girlfriend or something like that. So that's the bare bones synopsis for the movie, but of course it goes a lot more deeper than that. And the number one, I don't think this is the first movie that's done it. I mean, obviously it's done before, but it might be the one that's done it like the most in a movie, in which the whole movie, okay, not the whole, I'd say about 95%, it's POV shots from the killer's eyes, like from Elijah Wood, from Frank's eyes. So you actually don't see Elijah Wood in the scenes that much. Like, he'll pop up in like a mirror or something like that, but you always kind of feel him around because, you know, he's talking, you can hear him breathing. that sort of thing. You'll see his hand pop out every now and then. Very cool. I didn't know it was gonna be like that, and it leads to some. It makes it a pretty kind of unique horror movie. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, obviously back in the day, Friday the 13th did the POV shots from like Jason or Jason's mom, uh, while she's stalking people. But like this movie's doing it the whole time. Like you get to go through the life of this guy, and it's really really effective. I like it. There's not one scene in the movie that doesn't need to be there. They all exist for a reason, and it's great. And of course, seeing it through the killer's eyes, that makes the violence in this and like the brutality of the killings like very effective, because you're basically, it's almost like you're doing it. Okay, it's not like you're doing it, but just from the POV, you are doing that. You're seeing the horror in the victim's eyes. You're seeing what you're doing to them. It's good. It's really really good. I can't believe it. Uh, it's like that's why I had to do a video here, because like I watched it and I was like, I did not expect to like it this much. And the soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack is amazing. Very reminiscent of Drive, in the sense that, and actually I like that too. These two movies, in the sense that Drive really brought back the '80s, kind of a mafia thriller kind of movie. This has brought back a very '80s feeling horror movie. It's very the '80s kind of not techno, I don't know what to call it, but very dancey. The score is amazing. As soon as I saw the movie, I had to go buy the soundtrack. It was like that good. It's just everything comes together so well in this movie. It's completely well acted all around, not one weak performance. I mean, some of the victims, they're not on screen for that long, but they're good. They react fairly well. It's really really good. So I guess I'll kind of do a quick. I'm going to get into spoilers here. I'm going to go through the whole kind of what goes on here. So I warned you, spoilers starting now. Anyway, so the movie actually opens up with Elijah Wood stalking his first kill, and that's of course because I didn't really know that much about the movie when I saw this. When I first started realizing, oh my, this is completely POV. That's kind of neat. You get to see him stalking his victim. Then you get a nice montage with the credits, as he's driving to her apartment. Of course, the score kicks in, beautiful. Goes in there, cuts off. I like the fact that he's, because she lives in an apartment building on like the 4th floor or something. So he just has this big, fuck you, kill people knife. And he just like cuts the one wire. I'm like, how would he not get shocked? But whatever. I was too like, oh, this is kind of neat. Kills the power. She gets up to her door. He gets right behind her, and right away you get the very terrifying, the POV kill, because she kind of slowly turns around when he gets up behind her, he starts breathing really heavy, and as she's turning around, he's like, don't scream, you're just so pretty, and like the second like she goes to go like the moment she's about to scream, just knife right there, and you see it through her mouth, and it's so. Oh, it's so intense. You see the fear. You see, like, the life leave her eyes. It's so crazy. And then, of course, he's stroking her face, pulls it out, and grabs her hair, and just, like... That's the only thing. I mean, I know gravity probably does most of the work, but just the fact that he kind of does, like, a little cut. And then, like, the scalp just kind of... She falls, and the whole scalp comes off. I don't know how that works. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but... Then that happens, and then you get the nice big title card, Maniac, bright red, or not bright red, blood red. So basically, he's very lonely. Cuts to him. Obviously, in the original, Joe Spinell's Frank, he went and got like a prostitute. Kind of like how they updated it. Here, he's like on a dating site, meets a nice girl, and. They go out for dinner, and I can't remember the name of the actress, but she did really good. She was a very likable kind of girl. They have this kind of good chemistry, and you can tell she actually is really digging Frank. They go to her apartment. He's a virgin. She's being insanely forward. I think she fillets him, and that sets him off, and he ends up strangling her, and of course scalping her. And then you get to see, and then you get little bits too, like you get to see how messed up Frank's view of the world is, because one moment he'll be stapling the hair to a mannequin, he'll turn and then he'll look back and the mannequin's that girl he just killed. So very very good, well done with the with the directing and the editing and everything. It just works great. Does that, he finds a woman taking photos of his mannequins through the window that while the shutters are kind of open, strikes up a conversation with her. Long story short, she's well, not kooky, but one of those artists, like, I like mannequins and just that kind of stuff. So they strike up kind of a friendship, and he really likes her, obviously. So he's trying to, he starts changing his medication to try and repress those urges. Doesn't work. He ends up going out and killing somebody. And then he finds out that she has a boyfriend, because basically she wants to borrow a bunch of his mannequins to do a I don't know, some weird photo shoot thing. It's one of those artsy things I just don't get, but it works in the movie here. So that's what she wants to do, and they have a very good chemistry. They're talking, and everything's working out too. And since she's a photographer, there's some other opportunities to see Elijah Wood. She's like taking photos of him working on the mannequins, and he's looking over. It's a very nice effect. Anyway, long story short, the reason why he's so crazy is his mom owned the mannequin store. She was a prostitute, a druggie. And so numerous times, like, he'd end up, like, watching her just flat out get banged, on the middle of the street or in her room or stuff like that. And once again, very well done with the cinematography. Like, he'll just be walking down the street, he'll recognize it, he'll turn, and there's his mom, telling him to go back to the car, that sort of thing. And then it cuts back, and then you see he's a child again. So I think in the original she died in a car accident. I can't remember how they said she died in the remake here, but she's not around anymore. That's kind of why he's going crazy. So he goes to the whole event with the mannequins. He's a little despondent because she has a boyfriend, and he really liked her. He ends up talking to her mentor, like the one who's kind of like taught her photography and everything, and she starts insulting him, calling him a homosexual, that kind of thing, saying it's creepy to collect mannequins, that sort of stuff. So of course, Frank's gonna kill her. So basically stalks her, sneaks into her hotel room, and we get a very creepy scene where he's addressing her as his mother. He's like, why did you do that to me? All that kind of stuff. And one of the more brutal shots in the movie is of course he's been scalping people the whole time, but he scalps her alive, and it's intense. Very 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 well done. Does that, contacts, I wish I could remember her name, but the girl that he likes, she's all despondent because obviously they know that her mentor's dead, all that kind of thing, and she recently broke up with her boyfriend over an argument, so Frank's there but he kind of starts letting it slip that he knows a bit too much about her mentor, like he knew where she lived, that sort of thing. So she ends up realizing that he killed her. They get into a nice, kind of chase scene inside the apartment. Her neighbor comes in and gets killed. And then he basically chokeholds her, puts her in the back of his van, and he's taking her back to his place when he parks the van. He gets out, opens the back door, and she's already awake, and she like stabs him with a mannequin arm that has like a bit of rebarb sticking out, and a very nice shot of like him just like pulling it out of his chest, that sort of thing. Really cool. She runs into a random pedestrian's car, and he's like, whoa, 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 and they try and run him over, and they do. Like, you get to see a nice POV shot of him getting hit by the car and just getting, ass over tea kettle. Done, but of course the car swerves because they did that and crashes, and she actually gets launched out the window. And once again, a change from the original is that he actually kills her while she's like dying from the car accident. He like comes over and he scalps her. Takes it back to his house, staples it onto another mannequin, this one with a wedding dress, and he starts getting way 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 crazier because obviously he's pretty wounded. And then, as you know, the infamous shot from Maniac, the original, in which all the mannequins came to life and tore him apart, literally. Same thing basically here. Sorry, I got a text. Same thing here, but done differently in the sense that there's been a lot of mannequin-esque uh, ideas, like in the sense that like sometimes Frank will freak out and he'll look down and his lower torso's like a mannequin. He'll be washing his hands and they're mannequin hands, and so instead of like ripping off his head, they rip off his face and then there's a mannequin underneath. So kind of well done. Cut to a SWAT team breaking in, and Frank's dead in the closet. Yeah, he died from his, or it looks like he did. So there was no Maniac like, oh, eye opening, there might be a sequel. No, this I'm pretty sure this one's by itself. But and then credits. So that's the movie in a nutshell. Of course I'm very very cutting down everything, but amazing movie. Watch it. Watch it, watch it, watch it. It is so good. It's so rare to see a good horror movie nowadays, especially nowadays. There's no real jump scare moments. There's nothing like that. It's just genuine tension and uneasiness, and I like that. Top-notch practical effects, top-notch acting, top-notch dialogue. Everything is just fantastic, and once again, that soundtrack is... it's good. It's good. So yeah, I've been kind of rambling here, but yeah, Maniac. Go check it out if you can. I think it's coming to theaters here in July or something. They started showing it last year, I think in Germany or something. I had to download it, but checked it out and it was pretty awesome. So definitely, as soon as it's available for Blu-ray, I'm gonna buy it. And you should too. Well, you should watch it first to make your own decision. But personally, for me, this is now one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I'm so happy. Especially since the original's so good and now the remake's so good. Yeah, very good. Anyway, as far as updates go, got some more figure reviews to do now. Yeah, I'll check about the comic book reviews. I mean, I can do comic book reviews. It's just, I don't know. Sarah's had a lot of stuff going on, so there you go. But anyway, I'm Kiriyama Sparta. If you had a good time here, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Definitely comment. If you've seen Maniac as well, let me know what you thought, because like I said, I thought the movie was awesome. So good. Yeah, that's about it. I'll have some videos up in the next couple days, so have a good one, YouTube.